What's going on? It's your Council Party Rob. Make sure you like and subscribe and become a member to my channel to get all the exclusives. Now let's get into it. I think it's time, y'all. I think it's time. I think it's time for a new Jay-Z album. Not just a featured verse, even though I hope he's going to be on the Clips' new album. I hope. I think it's time for a new Jay-Z album. There's been a lot that's going on. There's been things that's been happening in society that I feel like we need to hear from Hov. We need to hear from him. You know what I mean? The last time we got to hear from him, I believe was like 2018 or so. But the last time we heard from him, there was a state in hip hop. It was a state in time where, and I'm talking about album wise, not the God did verse. I'm talking about album wise. The last time we heard from him as far as an album was 444. And in that album, in that time frame, was a lot of things going on. There's a lot of public police brutality in that time. It was a lot of people getting, it was just publicly coming out that people were getting jerked around in their business. You know what I mean? Of course, the situation with Beyonce and Jay-Z came to the forefront. It was a lot of things that was happening in that time in hip hop. And that's usually, in my opinion, that's usually when Jay-Z decides to make an album, when he feels like he needs to say something or speak on what's happening in the hip hop culture, what's happening in the, black culture and things like that. So, we got 444, and undoubtedly it's a classic. I don't care about what y'all say of, what album is better. It doesn't matter. 444 is a classic. It's a grown-up album for those who have grown with Jay-Z as a fan over the years. Classic. Now, is it top 5? I don't know. Put that in the comments. Let me know what's your top 5 Jay-Z albums. Let me know. And I'll give you mine in a later video. But I think this is a perfect time for him to drop an album for a couple of reasons. I think there's been a lot of legendary artists dropping albums. LL Cool J dropped the album. Slick Rick just recently dropped the album. That's fire. Common last year dropped the album. Excuse me. The Clips is dropping the album. It's time for our legendary hip hop artists to release some music, and what better person to release than Jay-Z or Nas? You know what I'm saying? Either or, but I'm talking about Jay-Z in this video. It's time for him to give us an album. Another reason why, he's been through things legally. They try to come for his head. They try to get him on some charges. He fought him. He beat that like like he does. I think he wants to speak on that. I think he wants to make some records regarding keeping your wealth, keeping your morals, keeping your energy. I mean, and like I said, I'm just speculating. I don't know for sure. I'm not in Jay-Z's camp. I'm not in Rock Nation. I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping that he's telling himself, you know what, let me take some time out and let me make some music. When you go through certain cases, and it wasn't a big case, it was kind of like an open and shut type of thing, but it was still significant enough that they tried to put a stain on his name for him to want to have a conversation about that and talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg, when he had his case, dropped the album. Tupac, when he had his case, he dropped the album. I'm not saying that his case was to that magnitude. But what I am saying is sometimes when you go through things in a court and you go through things in you go through legal trouble and things like that, it makes you want to fight back through the music. It makes you want to fight back through the music, which rightfully so. You want to get your voice across. You want to get your point across. Whether no matter what happens with the actual case, sometimes you feel compelled to share with people the type of things that the court system tries to do to you. So I think that's another reason why he should drop an album. He should drop an album. At the same time, he just popped out on Beyonce's tour. And the crowd went nuts. He just popped out. Why not? Why not give us an album? You just popped out on a tour. You did N-Words in Paris. They went crazy. You did Crazy in Love. They went crazy. Why not give us some new music? I mean, you can drop a new album and gear up for another tour. Why not? We need our greats to keep dropping music. I know Hov still got bars left. I know he still got lines left. I know that he's itching to jump in a part of this elite lyricism era again. Why not? Hov got it. Anybody say he ain't got it, you bugging. Jay-Z still got it. And while you still got it, give it. Give it to the people. Give it to the fans. We need another album. I'm not going to say need. You gave us enough music. We want another album. If we can get another album, we'll be happy with that. No pressure. No pressure, Hov. No pressure. But we would love another album. Why not? Another reason I think, I'm not going to ramble off. I'm not going to have a long blog. I'm not going to have a long video. But I do want to state a couple things. Another reason why I feel like he should drop another album. For me being a producer and an engineer, when you're working with artists or you're working with certain people that you admire or you just had good workings with, you guys have made great music, you want to do it again. You want to go through that process again, no matter how strenuous it is. You want to go through that process again. I think the producers like Pharrell, Timberland, Ninth Wonder, you know what I mean? Possibly with some other new producers that are legendary or not legendary. I would love to hear a Jay-Z and Alchemist track. Jay-Z and Alchemist? What are we talking about? We need that. We just got a Kendrick and Alchemist, record. Meet the Grams. We need a Jay-Z and Alchemist. For sure. Also, what about a Jay-Z and Conductor? You know what I'm saying? Conductor is Griselda Records producer, Westside Gun, Conway, Benny. Shout out to my guys. We would love to see a Conductor and Jay-Z, record. And there's some other, producers. I would love to see a Jay-Z and Local Astronauts in my camp. You know what I'm saying? I would love to produce a record for Jay-Z. Why not? But we would love to see the legendary connections of the producers that he's worked with previously. And then also we would love to see him rock with a couple of new producers and just make some new hotness, new fire. Also on the engineering side, I know Young Guru is like, hey, Hov, you ready to get back to it? You ready to get back to it? Why not? Like, people that's a part of his creation of his music, they're gonna want to do it again. They're gonna want to make another album. They want to go through that process again. I would. And it has nothing to do with more accolades. It has nothing to do with money. None of that. It's just for the sport of doing dope music and for the energy and camaraderie of the people that's around you, that love you, that do music with you, and just creating more memories, creating more energy. Why not? Matter of fact, bring Pain in the Ass back. I don't know if y'all know who Pain in the Ass is, but Pain in the Ass is actually a gentleman that worked with Rockefeller very on early. And if you listen to the skits on Jay-Z's early albums where he sounds like Scarface, that's Pain in the Ass. And he actually just did a interview with Memphis Bleak. You know what I'm saying? For Memphis Bleak's new podcast, it's called On the Rock or something like that. But yeah, they just talked about the memories of being able to do the Jay-Z albums and doing the skits. I would love to see Pain in the Ass come back one last time. One last time and do that whole Scarface rendition again. That will be awesome. It'll be nostalgic. It'll be great. Why not? Why not, Hove? Why not? That would be great. Last thing, I would love to see him do records with some of the newer generation. I don't know how that's going to turn out. To be honest, I have no clue. But some of the newer generation, the same way he did the Blueprint 3, where he had a couple of the newer generation artists like J. Cole and what's his name? Not Travis Scott. I forgot the other guy's name. I'll remember it. But a couple of the newer artists make some records with him. You know what I'm saying? And that was dope. So I would love to see that come back. I would love to see, him on a record with Playboi Carti. I would love to see him on a record with the trifecta, with Benny the Butcher, West Side Gun, and Conway. I would love to see that. Jay-Z and Griselda. Fire. Fire. I would love to see an official Jay-Z and K-Dot record. Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. We got the remix of Don't Kill My Vibe where Jay-Z did the remix, and that was great. But I would love to see an official Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar record. And I would still love to see another Jay-Z and Nas record. You know what I'm saying? Let's do another one of those. The two billionaires. Let's go. Let's do it again. These are the type of things that I feel like we need in this hip-hop culture. And like I said, no pressure. No pressure to Sean Carter, but we would love it if you drop another album. We would love that, bro. I'm telling you. Last thing before I go. I am someone who consistently makes sure that I stay a fan of my beloved hip-hop. I always stay a fan of music, even though I do music, even though I produce, I engineer, I songwrite, I put out records with my team, Local Astronauts. I'm still a fan of music. I still have my, my streaming services where I put together my playlist and play my favorite records and my classic nostalgic records, and I still indulge in newer records as well. I still, sometimes when I'm in the studio or when I'm at home, I'll put on a playlist and just play some stuff. I'll play things that are classic for my kids so they can understand the type of culture, hip-hop or not, that I was a part of, the music that I listened to growing up, the music that they listen to. I want to make sure that they still become fans, because in order for us to be able to continue our hip-hop culture for 50 years and beyond, we still have to become fans of our own craft, fans of other people's craft, fans of the ones who did it the best, the ones who are now starting to be the best. Being a fan is important whether you're a creator or you're a consumer. Doesn't matter. Being a fan of our own hip-hop is important, and we need that more than ever these days. More than ever. There's so many people trying to take this from us. They're trying to take our ownership. They try to take our royalties from our streams. They try to take our music. They try to give us a lesser platform. So we have to continue to be a fan of our beloved hip-hop to keep this thing going. That's why I can sit here and say, hey, I'm going to make a video to let everyone know why we need a Jay-Z album. and why we may need other albums from other artists. I'll explain that, and I'll get to that when I get to that. But right now, we need Hove. We need Jay-Z. We need Sean Carter. Hell, we'll take Jigga Man. We'll take Jigga Man. We'll take it. Until then, I'll play my Jay-Z playlist. Until then. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know if y'all think that Jay-Z should put a new album out, especially in a time right now where hip-hop is like really, really getting potent, really getting elite. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. And let me know what's your top five Jay-Z albums. I'll put mine in the comments as well. We'll debate that in the comments. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all become a member. I'm actually going to put some new content up for my members only. I got some stories to tell, and y'all going to love it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Y'all already know what it is. Workload.